Welcome back. It's Lala here with an end of the October 2021 video. And I wanted to go over something I've added into my Wonderland 222 A6 size planner system. As I am considering the month of November to be a month of just trying out a different system and see if it is something that I can use on a daily basis or as a supplement to my Jibba and Techo days, because I love the Jibba and Techo days. It totally works for me. Um, but I'm all about trying different things and then sharing my thoughts on them, because it might be something that could work for you or someone you know. So anyway, so I have the previous videos showing the Wonderland222 A6 size and in my Moterm cover. One thing I actually tried out several months ago, and actually having two different sizes, is the insert printables from MomYePlans, and it's her GTD, and I have GTD label here, her GTD inserts. And I'm going to show you, I have them in the disc size of the mini, and I also have them in the personal size. All right, so in case you didn't see a previous video where I showed these, I'm going to show you in the disc size these inserts. I have here, don't you just love it with the disc system? You can just fold it over. But you have the inbox, okay? The inbox, and then there's on the side the different categories, which I really like the inbox layout. So in case you didn't see my previous video, here's the different side categories. So you're either going to put in calendar, and these are in the actionable question mark, yes or no. So calendar, next action, waiting on, and projects. And then the no area is someday maybe and reference. Okay. So you have the inbox, and then I just have a paper clip, those all together. Then you have the next action. You have the description area, and you can label these 1 through whatever, or I tend to use it as a checkbox so that just easily I can see that we're done with that. And then you have the side categories of home, work, planner, Erin, computer, contact. And then I have a bunch of those paper clipped together. And then you have the waiting on. You have the description. And then you have the date assign, first follow-up, second follow-up, and then a notes area. You can even use this for, for example, you have done some planner shopping, of course, and and maybe, or even a subscription box. And so I would put what I purchased here, and then I'm waiting on it, right? So it's going to be put on this page. Date assigned, that could be the date I purchased it. And then I can easily reference to see, well, how long it seems to be taking a long time. Because especially if you have custom orders like covers, a custom leather cover, maybe from Apple Pig, or, whomever. So sometimes, it might take a while for you to get that item. Say it's over 2 months, then, you're going to want to do a first follow-up, a second follow-up, and then maybe write some notes. And then when the package comes, then you just check mark over here. That's the way I would use that. And it could be also work-related. Say you're waiting on someone to get back to you on their part of a work project, and it seems to be taking a little longer than originally planned, so you want to track your follow-ups. Just some examples. So a bunch of those. And then you have the projects. So you have your reference. So maybe if you have a notes area, so you can put a reference or a meeting or whatever. page, insert, whatever. Then you have your description area, so it's a big box, you can see here. Then the date, due date. And then you have these check boxes. Or you can use it for whatever. You might want to use some of your bullet journaling symbols. And then the task. So then for each box area, you have 3 task boxes. Doesn't mean that, say, for example, if you have a lot of different things that need to go with that project, you can just ignore, you know, the additional boxes over here and then just keep going down. So I have a bunch of those, and then I actually have some project details sheets. Reference, there's open box, and really you can use this however you want. Okay. And then the someday maybe. And then you have some that just don't have anything written, so you can use it for whatever. You can use these actually for just a running to-do list or brain dump. And then you have these that aren't titled in any kind of way. So you might be, maybe this is part of your projects, so you have your different things that you need to do. And then maybe, say the project is you are working on your garden or your office and furniture or bedroom or whatever. Or you can use it to put little pictures of different ideas for your project. You know, or you can cut things off, print and cut from the internet, magazines, whatever. Okay, and then so I have a bunch of those. Okay, so anyway, that's the GTD inserts from MomYePlans that I have in 2 different sizes. Well, I liked it where I wanted to see if I can incorporate it with the Wonderland222. But she also has these other inserts. So you know the Wonderland222, so here's just a random week. It's a weekly format. Now the A6 size, because it's so much smaller, the times that are printed are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. But you know, the typical person like me, my day doesn't end at 5 unless I was only just using this as a work planner, right? And then so you guys can see, okay. And then the Saturday, Sunday is combined, which is not my favorite. I like for each day to have its own column or own day, but that's okay. So what I decided to do is, instead of buying the GTD set again in an A6 size, what I'm thinking about doing, and again, since this is still 2021, it's not 2022 yet, I still have 2 months to kind of, you know, figure things out, or say, hey, I'm just going to scrap this whole thing and just stick with my Jibintecho A6 days, or I just need to revamp a little bit here. Okay, so anyway, I'm rambling. I decided just to print in personal size the inbox, next action, and I think, and a waiting on. I just decided to just use the personal size, cut it smaller to just fit, so that I can just have somewhere to just dump things. But then what I'm thinking is, you know, in the larger sizes where I'll have everything, or I can put, you know, even these inbox things, because maybe I might use this more in here as brain dump, or so I can just easily reference when I'm out and about. But really the full thing is here, because you know, I have all the projects and all the other categories that are not printed here. Okay, so so I went ahead and printed it, and as you can see, it's smaller than true A6, okay, because it's just really for reference and just to dump things. What I purchased was her monthly, daily inserts. And I'm going to put the description down below with a link. I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'm still, and I hate looks like, how this looks. I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to have the link below because I'm still setting this up. And like I said, November is going to be my trial month. But I really like these. She did not have the A6 size in her shop for this set. I sent her a note through Etsy and asked her, and she custom did these for me. And because of the smaller size, she had to kind of tweak it a little bit too. Okay, so I'll show you what that means. So here you have your monthly overview, and I just added my sticker because the sets are blank and for you to print every month. So you get a month worth in the printables. Okay, so you have here priorities. So I just have this abbreviation for work, so I know that this is a work related thing. And you have goals. You have important dates. So you can put the date over here, and you could put in the description what it is. And then you have a running task list, which I like. Again, you have these boxes where you can use your bullet journal symbols if you like. Then you have a month on 2 pages, and I haven't finished setting up the dates. I really don't need this since I have the monthly, you know, in the Wonderland booklet. But what I was thinking of, and I have it, and you can't really see it, but I made a label here for reading percentage. So I read pretty much majority of all my novels for pleasure reading on my Kindle. So I was thinking I could just put the title of the book, and then and if I know I'm reading the same book all week, I'll just put the title, you know, on that day, and then all week put my percentage where I am in that book. Or I can even set it as a goal, like, so tomorrow I'm planning to start a new novel, and so my goal is to read, you know, up to 25%. So I might put 25, and then I'll put a slash. And then when I'm done reading tomorrow night, then I'll put where I really did finish off on the opposite side. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Somebody might say, well, the monthly in the main booklet is for, you know, all your dates of appointments and events, and then you might want to use this for maybe your social media, or you might want to use it for your bills, things like that, or a kid's schedule, or the main ones for your personal monthly. Then you might want to use this for your work. Who knows? However you want. And you have this column here you can use however you want. Again, it's undated. It is a Monday start. And then you have the schedule. So you have, like in that Hobonichi vertical layout, you have your schedule. So first you have this week. So you can put, you know, what are the main things this week. And then you have Monday through Sunday. This part in the larger size is actually on a flap. So it would flap over, it would be extended out this way. And then that way you could, how I used to use my flap for when I would purchase the DIY fish, I would, you know, have it like this. So I know that here's my 7 days. Here's a flap, so I can flip it up like that and whatever. But anywho, and it's also too, when it's on a flap, is so you can easily reference from here to your day. But this is not on a flap. Then you have a next action here. So that GTD section is just shortened, so you don't have the different categories going down, but you just can put down next action here. And then you have a waiting on. Okay. And then So that's for the week. And then you have for your dailies, and I just use some of my dot pens. I should have pulled one out so I can show you guys, which I really like them, but the color's so dark, I know it's Monday, right? But I decided on something else that you'll see on the other pages. And then I had some stickers that had the days of the, the numbered days. So I'm decided to put it here so I know that this is for the first. Then you have a schedule. Now this is what's great about this compared to the actual printed format. So like I said, it, within the Wonderland, the timeline is 7 to 5 that's printed. But here you have from 4 a.m. to midnight. So that's great because I get up at 5 a.m. So this is like perfect, just to have as a working daily on the go planner. But I like my Jibin Techo because I got the 24-hour timeline. Okay, but this is great. This is perfect for a lot of people because when you sleep, right? But some people like to track their sleep on their dailies, so this may not work. Then you have over here, and this is how it looks without it all written over. So you could use this for different ways. You can use this for maybe your top 3 rocks, your big rocks. Or what I'm thinking about trying out is logging my breakfast. And I don't really do lunch, but I do a snack because I do intermittent fasting. And then dinner. So you can do it that way. Or maybe you can use this for maybe that project you're working on. So you want to put, what part of the project you're working on today, that can go here. Or if you've got something major going on that day that you really want to stand out of here, you might want to put over here. Then you have tasks. And then you have this little notes area. And the pages are numbered. At least they're numbered on the right-hand side. Okay? And they just go like that. And, you get 7 days, and then you start again with your week layout. All right? So, something I realized, if you happen to have the Kokio for the Jibin Techo, this green stencil, it has the mood trackers, so the little emoji faces, and this box. And I realized this morning that this box, so I'm going to show you, here's the open box. You can see that this fits perfectly, okay? Which means you could use this category or this area also for mood tracking and journaling. So say, for example, in the morning, I was doing pretty good. I got to work on time. There was no crazy traffic. And so maybe in the morning, because I want to pay attention to how my mood is throughout the day, I'll use my happy face and I'll even write, hey, no crazy traffic. Got to work on time. But midday, how was I doing then? It was, I got really ticked off because, maybe someone didn't get something completed, and they've been reminded numerous times because it reflects on the next thing you need to do every day. And so I might use this angry face and I'll journal that, and then and so forth. And so then at the end of the day, how did it end? Yeah, it was cool. It was good. At the end of the day, everything got done at work. When I reached out to that coworker, it's all said and done because I'm trying to work on myself to not hold things in for an extended amount of time, not have that Taurus side of me come out, the bullheaded part of me. So I'm good. It's cool. Got home safely. You know, got to enjoy my book. Checked off everything. We're good. So anyway, so yeah, this fits the actual box for the little emoji faces. So you can do your mood tracking, y'all. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So that's the Mommy Plans inserts, the GTD, partial part of the main kit, and then in the full daily, monthly, weekly set that she has. So again, this is great if you need to, you know, hey, in the Wonderland, you had some specific plans that you wanted to get accomplished, but then you can use this to actually log how that day really went. And then have a true long, you know, relatively long task list here, because in the breakdown, if you heard that, that's my grandmother. And, you know, you only have a small amount of space here to write down tasks. Or you might make it really fun like how I have here. Yeah. This isn't normally how I would plan, but, you know, I decided to just step outside my normal box and make it kind of fun and visually pleasing. So anyway, I don't want to make this really long or too much longer. I just wanted to show you guys how I plan to start November 1, which is tomorrow. A lot of you have November start planners. So tomorrow's exciting day, or actually today might be really exciting, because then you're putting in all your plans for the week in that brand new spanking planner. And so, yeah. I'm liking how this looks for me, and I'm playing around and all that. I'm not giving up my Jib and Tetro days. That's still my baby. That's still my baby. Yeah, this is my little trial on the go planner system with all my goodies, and you know, and I'll use my little Hobonichi thing here like that. Yes. So, all right, y'all, that's it. I hope you guys have a great week. Start November 1. If you're going out trick-or-treating tonight, be safe. Take your hand sanitizer, you know. Check the wrappers and candy out before you start digging into it or allowing your kids to dig into it. And, you know, if you're a parent, you're going to dig into their candy too. I'm guilty of that in the past. So, yeah, have a great week, you guys. Go ahead and hit that like button, share it, put a comment down. Let me know what you've got to start for November 1, what you're planning to use. And also let me know if you're interested in trying out the printables as well. From MomYePlans. They're easy to print. If I can do it, honey, you can do it. But yeah, I'm going to have the link down below. You guys have a great day, great week. See you next time.